Good evening. Good evening, Missy. Good evening. Mhm. Good evening. Good evening, Mahesh. Good evening, all. We'll start in 3 more minutes. So get your water bottles ready and other stuff. Today we are going to implement Redux into our project, and then we'll deploy the project. So that's what we are going to do. Mahesh. So in today's session, we'll see how or why do I use this thing known as a redux in order to manage states for different elements altogether. How many people have joined? 10. Okay. So don't worry about Mahesh. We will actually learn about how this React thing actually works. How the redux thing actually is important. Um, yes, this is working fine. This is working fine, and it's working fine. This is working fine. Uh, shall we start or we'll wait for another minute? Because if you want me to start, I just start. But before that, I just want to ask you all one important thing that uh, if you have any kind of a doubt from the previous session, you can just ask. If you have any kind of doubt from the previous session, you can ask, because Mahesh asked why we use Redux instead of state. I'm going to explain detailedly in this given particular session, because till now we have seen Redux as a state management library, but in this given particular session, you will see about how this React actually, or the Redux is actually maintaining the states for all these components. Ah, so here, if you come back to this given particular thing, if I click on all categories, this entire thing is not showing up the thing. So I wantedly did that particular thing. I wantedly did that particular thing, like say, because there is actually a small twist in the code which I have written. I just want you to actually solve it. After this class, you all have this Git link with all you, right? So after this entire session, because today is the last day of the sprint, we deploy the things in Vercel or Netlify any which way, or Replit any which way, and after that we do this thing, like you actually clone my repository into your account, into your personal computer, just make the changes, push the code. After pushing the code, I'll just check whether your changes are actually good or not. If they are okay, then I'll just include that into the code itself, include the code into myself. So anyone has any kind of doubt from the previous session, please do respond. Otherwise, tell me, sir, go ahead. I will go ahead and we'll see what are the things that we are going to learn today. Once again, explain briefly about middleware. Middleware is nothing but even you can understand it. See, even at this given particular thing, uh, even for any given application, for the given application, we have this React thing. Once you go to this React RP, not RP, it is this React. Once you open it, go to this features thing, make the products and see the stuff. Okay, once I'll do this thing, instead of having this thing as a products, I'll change it to, after pushing the final things, I'll change this product name to e-commerce and I'll just keep it here. I'll just keep it here so that it will be very easy for you to navigate to the things. So that is the thing. And yes, can I go ahead? So middleware is nothing but, so whenever from your React component, if you want to get the state variables that are present in the slice, you actually use dispatch hook. Where using that, we actually take the state variables that are present in this particular element in the slice and get back to your, or in order to perform any kind of actions onto this given particular state variables that are present in the slices, we actually use dispatch. But coming to this previous class where we have seen, we are actually setting the stage of users from getting the data from other API. From backend, I am getting some of the data and I am actually using that data to store inside this user state variable. So whenever I am kind of making an asynchronous call and storing a particular state or storing a data into a given particular state that is exactly present in the React slice or Redux slice, then we require a concept known as middleware, where we actually ask the middleware, okay middleware, just go and bring the content. Middleware will go and bring the content, and after bringing the content, it only update the state in the state variable, in the slice. So that is what meant by middleware. Yes, we create only middlewares in order to have a call for API thing. Anyone has any kind of a doubt? Yes, Mahesh, you're correct. That's why I'll use middlewares when I want to make a async redux call. So simple that. Anyone has any kind of previous session doubt, you can ask me. So in today's session, we see how can we apply the redux concept all to this into our code itself. How do we use that thing and thing? So if you want me to go ahead, tell me go ahead. If there are no doubts, please do respond in chat because this is the last session in the sprint. So yeah, please do respond in chat. No, that is not wrong. That is wrong, Venkat Sai. When we are using use selector, we are actually getting the hook and we are actually sending a callback into it. So we require it. We require it. If you are using use state, then there is no need to for use selector. If you are using use state, then the point of use selector is not relevant. So use selector is used only when you are saying that okay, these are my state variables. I'm going to store it in Redux thing. Then only the thing actually happens. So can I go ahead? Everyone, tell me go ahead. I just go ahead. Please do respond in chat. Go ahead. Yes, thanks. So now, in this given particular thing, where if I go to this cart, there are no elements that are present. So I'll go back. I have all my things available here. All my things available here. So I just want to add this functionality where if I had this given particular element, two elements or three elements, four elements, I just want this same element to be updated in the cart. If I delete on the cart, the same thing should be reciprocated here. So this is the one single thing that I just want to implement in this given particular session where we are actually implementing the Redux and then we actually go and deploy the application. These are the two important parts that we are going to see in this given particular session. So for which I'll say close every other thing. Close every other thing. So I'll I'll say sorry. I'll say in source I'll create one file. I'll say um, srs dot markdown page. Let's create what we are going to do. App add. So in this session we are going to add um, to cart. We are going to implement this particular thing, add to cart implementation, where I'll say that this particular thing, add to cart. So it has multiple, I can say, important things to be noted, which is nothing but whenever we say add to cart is added, we need to actually have these two important things when we have implementing this cart icon in this given application. The one thing is we need to add items to the cart, and we also need to remove the items to the cart. Remove from cart. Remove from cart, where I'll say given to a product list, which is nothing but this given particular add to cart is actually given to this thing known as a product list, because if you observe this particular entire structure of the code, go to this components, we have our product list and other things. So we have to give into this product list, where I just want to implement these two features, which is nothing but if that cart is actually a product, or the product is actually present in this cart item, I'll say remain the same even of the page change, which is nothing but I just want to implement a particular application in such a way. I'll say that whenever I still be on the page, the number would show the same to any given page I should go, which is nothing but I'll implement this particular cart thing. Any page which I go, I'll go to users, home, and any which page I'll go, then this cart variable should not be changed. So that is the one thing that I'm going to implement it, the first thing, and do whatever things like filtering, sorting, group by, anything, or searching, to be more precise. Anything we do, we actually want to keep the items safe or same. The other thing you just want to say is we have to show the cart with product quantity, and the other thing is we have to show the added product on carts page. So these are the things that I just want to do now. So in order to do this particular thing, so I'll go to the cart itself, because this go in the components, we have this nav bar, or go to this nav bar, not. So in this entire nav bar we have a cart element, so I just go to the nav bar. So I'm currently on the nav bar part, and I'll do this one thing. So here we have the cart. I just want to change it to something, so I'll say react icons, go to this react icons thing, and I have this one thing known as which is which I'll say cart icon. I just search for cart icon. Yeah, this thing is actually good. So npm I react icons, include it into your code. We have included npm react cons. Now I'll just copy this particular element and paste it. I'll paste it, and I'll say inside this given particular cart, I'll say I'll create one div where I'll say it is as cart underscore container. Cart underscore container. in which I'll add this particular BS card thing. So for which go to this thing, BS card, copy it. So I'll paste it here. So after this, I just also want to mention the quantity number. I'll say div dot cart underscore quantity. I'll apply it and okay. I'll say initial value is actually equal to 0. Now see, now for which I am going to apply some styling. You can clearly see this particular font size is large. It is a bit better. Now I just want to make give a small styling for it, for which I'll go to my app.css. Where is app.css? Where from down I'll say cart styling. So from down I'll say cart underscore container. We'll say the position itself is relative. Let's not use this flex simply. We'll use this position thing. It's very much cart underscore quantity. I'll say position value is absolute. Color value to be what is the color value of this particular thing? Let's try to give this particular thing the random color I just give, like 436975. Maybe this some random color I've just typed 695. So this is actually this hex code. I'll say the bottom value is 0 pixel. So now check it. I need to actually these two are matching, so I'll say write minus 10 pixel. Cart quantity minus 10 pixel. I'll say font size 0.9 rem. Okay, what exactly is happening here? Instead of giving these positions altogether, I'll just give check it. Okay, instead of writing them here, I'll say cart underscore container. So go to this thing. Is this the container? I'll say display flex. Cart container, where inside we have two div elements. I think I have written the code wrong. Sorry. This is small mistake I made. Instead I'll cut it. Now instead of having it flex, don't have it flex, by the way. Now check it. Okay, let's give bottom 0 pixel. It is actually working. That's 0 pixel. Instead of 0, I'll say 0. Now this is looking good. Now this styling is also actually looking good. Now for which I'll say let's start implementing the code itself. So we go to the navbar. We are done with the static part of the code. Now I'll say let's try to have these kind of a buttons onto this particular elements also. So this elements is actually dealt by our particular product list. So product list, if you see this entire details of this particular image, I'll remove it. Yes, image of this given item, this particular details like title and price of this given item and sort of this thing is actually dealt by this given particular item or component known as product list, where I just want to include these two things. Like I need to have plus minus button. Whenever I click on this plus button, this item need to be included into the cart. whenever I just want to click minus button on any given element onto this products, I just want to showcase it, the same thing replicated on the card itself. So for which I'll go back. I'll say, yeah, below it, I'll say I'll create a div where I'll say add to cart container. Inside of it, go to your React icons. I'll say close it. Instead of cart, I'll say plus. So which plus is fine? This plus is actually good, looking good. Actually, this plus is actually looking good. This plus is actually looking good, or this plus is actually looking good. This one is actually looking good. I'll just include it. So I'll copy, come down, I'll paste it, and I'll say this fast square plus, go down to this particular element, I'll paste it, and I'll say font size large. Check it. Now we got this particular thing. Apart from it, I just also want to add a negative symbol to it. I mean, go to React thing. I'll say minus. Minus, find good minus. I think this is good. This is actually good. Copy, come back to your code, and I'll say copy. Sorry. I'll say paste it. I'll say font size is large. Is actually large. Now this code actually work. Now this thing work. We have this plus minus button for every other element. Now in between, I just want to mention a quantity of this given particular element, where I'll say div. What the name of this thing is? Current cart count. Current cart count of this given particular element. Let it be the value of 0. Let it the value of 0. This gives small styling part. Where is this app.css? App.css, sorry. Add to cart container. Where I'll say dot add to cart container. Where I'll say display flex, and I'll say justify content. Wait. Justify content center. Now the thing is actually fine. So we are done with the static part, which is nothing but whenever I just click on this plus, the thing needs to be okay. And let's reverse this roles. Reverse this roles. I'll paste it. Now check it. Whenever I click on this plus, whenever I click on this plus, I need to actually increment the cart item itself. Increment the cart item with the thing of product. So this is my main agenda. But coming back to this particular thing, how do we do it? How do we do it? Before implementing any feature, remember, before implementing any feature in either of backend or frontend, chalk down what are the necessary things that you want to see. So here I just want to implement add to cart and remove to cart for this given product list. That's what I did. I just coded it, added this feature, but these are the key things that I want to implement it. These are the key things that I want to implement it. Let's say instead of A dot B dot C dot D dot. So let's say we have these four important things. The first thing is where we want to remain the same even of the page change, which is nothing but if I go to this cart, if I click on this users, and if I go to again home, this cart value should not be changed. First thing. Second thing, do whatever operations you want. Whatever operations you want. your cart item should not change, second thing. Third thing, we have to show the cart with the product quantity. So we need to actually say, if someone says click for added these two products, I just want to show the quantity here, Third point. Fourth point, we have to show the added product onto the carts page, which is nothing but, if I go to this carts page, whatever products that are added to this given particular page, I just want to showcase them neatly onto the screen. That's what my main agenda for this particular thing. Now, in order to do all these kind of things, first we need to actually have, or we need just, our code is actually looking clumsy. I'll just refactor it, which is nothing but I refactor into two ways. So whatever pages that we have, here we have home page, user space, cart page, right? So these are actually the pages. Right? So whenever there is a page actually defined, which is nothing but, here let's say I'll say ABC, ABBC or anything, fine. We need to say this is page not found. So these are the pages that we have in our application. Whenever we want to go to another separate thing, these are the different pages that we have in our application. So we need to segregate our entire structure in the form of pages. So for which I'll say that basic ops is fine. Let's create a pages thing itself. In the source, I'll create a folder and I'll say pages. And I'll just get the things. So what is that home page? I just want to get into this pages. After this home pages, what is the other thing? Cart page. Page not found is another page. User is actually another page. Are there any kind of pages that are left? Product details. Yes. This product details is actually kind of a thing. Profile also, I'm not at all using it, so delete it. Move to recycling bin. So users in user dot this particular thing, because user is nothing but the profile, so leave it. And I just want to make sure this component actually want to get back onto this thing. So context. I just want to say that this given particular thing, okay, is my code running or not? Click on home. My code is actually working fine. Are there any kind of changes that still I need to make? Pages though, I have segregated it. Are there any pages left? Product details. In which way we are not using that thing, but in which way we'll use it here in this given particular section, we'll use it. Otherwise, you delete it. If I forget to use this product details kind of a thing, you just leave it. You just remove them. Product list. We are actually okay, any which way. Product details, any which way, it's kind of a thing. Is there anything that we can change? So into this context, we have only page nation center inside the context, so leave it. The components, categories is one such a component, navbar is another component, product details is another component. So these are the different components that are exactly present. When product details is a component, product details, so you can use it or delete it, but I just keep it because I have few ideas to refactor it for you to give the code. Once I push it, I just have few ideas to deal with this product detail, so I'm just leaving it. I'm not deleting it by the way. Are there anything that I left? User.jsx page. Close all of these things. Okay, get the context also out of this particular thing. Yes, move. So close this assets though I don't require this particular thing, but anyway, I leave it. It's not that space consuming thing. So context pages. POC though, okay, leave it. I have this thing, so leave it. Utilities are fine. Basic op.js. There is nothing but page not found, doesn't file exist. Go to this particular app.jsx. A pagination, page not found. We need to actually change these values, by the way. We need to actually change these values. So I'll say components, not components, by the way, slash pages slash page not found. Similarly, this is the same component for homes, because home is a component or is in page. Pages. What are the things that are exactly present in the pages? Cart home user. We need to actually change it. Cart home user. So for which I'll say this pages slash home. Similarly, the same thing for product details. Let's try to include this product details here itself. Components product details. Let's include it here itself. So pages, it automatically rendered. Thank you very much. And coming to this user also, I'll remove this all things. I'll say pages slash user. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Even the cart. I just want to say this is actually a page. Pages slash yes, page nation context. I just need to remove that. This is actually the thing. No, now our code is actually working. Electronics, jewelry, all categories. It is not showing. There is a small bug. I have included this particular the thing, so don't worry about it. Make work of this all categories. That's actually your part. It's a small bug, very small bug. So we have our code running. So now I have just refactored our code into these different components and different pages, because whenever you are working with any kind of a product page, you will have these things: components as one such a part, context as one such a part, utilities as one such a part, pages as one such a part. So anyone has any kind of doubt in this restructuring? Because it is very much important, because you are going to implement the same kind of refactoring and sort of thing in your production code also. Anyone has any kind of a doubt? Give me a minute. Sorry for the disturbance. Sorry. So anyone has any kind of a doubt? Because we need to understand this particular refactoring concept. Can't we write entire thing components folder? So yes, you can write, but it is in order to scale the things. Remember, in order to scale the things, we need to actually refactor the things. We need to actually divide the parts such that scalability option will be available for us to go for whatever component, whatever thing we can do. That's the one factor. That's the one important keynote. that why do we use this kind of a scalability concept here. Yes, in this class also I'll implement the redux, same redux. I'll implement the redux now. So here, if you observe this code, now whatever code I'll have here, if I click on this plus, this item should be represented on both these variables. If I click on it, then these two values should be replicated on this cart thing. So this is nothing but this thing need to be a state variable such that do whatever you want to do, it will be calm and visible for all of us. It will be rendered onto the screen such that react as overview on the state variable. Because we have multiple components, because each page we have 4 components. Each page we have 4 items. Go to each page, we have 5 such pages. 5 such pages. So we can add any number of items altogether. So at this given point of time, if you want to add this particular React page or React particular cart item, we need to make it as a state variable. Now, for which I'll use Redux to it. So for which first I need to install the Redux. I'll say Redux, not Thunk. Redux. Go to it. There is just one code. What is this particular npm install? Redux toolkit and sort of stuff. So I'll say npm install Redux space. I'll copy it. This particular thing. I'll copy it and I'll say instead of Redux, it is actually React dash Redux. So let's wait until this particular elements installed into our code. So they are installed. Yes, they are installed. Fine. Now we can start working with the React. So with the Redux itself. So the first important step of this any React application is nothing but create the slice. Create the slice. So for which I'll say I'll close it. I'll create a folder and I'll say Redux. And inside that I'll create a particular folder known as slices. And inside of it I'll create a file known as cart slice.js. Yes, cart slice.js, where for this given thing I just want to say import this particular statement, create slice from this given toolkit, Redux toolkit. After that I'll say const creating the slice, const const what we'll keep the name of this thing, cart slice is actually create slice and I'll say name of this given particular slice is cart slice. And after that I need to mention this initial states that are exactly present inside this particular state or in this given particular slice itself. So what would be that thing is, let's say I'll have cart quantity and I'll say this particular thing. The other thing I just want to say is cart products. So yes, at this point of time I'll say this particular thing is array of objects, which are objects are nothing but your products. Objects where we have this details, or I can say details of product and their individual quantity of each product So this is the one simple thing that I just implement. So this cart products is one such an array where it has an array of objects, where this array of objects details are nothing but details of the product, which product you have ordered, which product is in the cart, that thing. And the second important thing is what is the individual quantity of each product. Let's say if I go to this particular page and if I click this particular thing plus, then I'm actually ordering these 2 shirts and these 3 cotton jackets if I click on it. So I just want to have quantity of each individual product. I just want to showcase it onto the screen. So this is why in my cart slice section I I have two these kind of state variables. After these state variables, I need to actually implement this reducers, where I used to have this add to cart thing, where I'll say this is actually a function. Similarly, we need to implement two add to cart and also remove, I can say delete from cart, or remove, delete from cart, delete from cart. Do not worry, I'm not directly applying the logic at this point of time, so we'll see it. The final thing is, I'll say export default this, what is this thing, cart slice, because check it, this is the cart slice, this is the cart slice. Anyone has any kind of a doubt in this slicer thing? Anyone has any kind of a doubt in the slicer thing? Because what we have did in the past two classes, we are doing the same thing here. We are doing the same thing. Create the slice, keep it in the store, from the store give the provider, from the provider it is going to the app component, from that component we are going to take it into a React component. Same thing. If you want to do any kind of an operation here, you use dispatch. Simple. Whatever things we have did, we are going to do the same things. So I'm again repeating. I mean again reiterating this entire thing of cycle of Redux. So if anyone has any kind of doubt, you can ask me. Right? Can I go ahead? Can I go ahead? Can I go ahead? Oh, thanks. After that, the card slice has been created. The next important step. What is that next important step? We need to create a store. We need to actually create the store itself. So inside this Redux, I'll create a file known as store.js. Inside this Redux, we can create this file.js. So this is actually our store. So what we can get into our store. So in order to configure the things, important things, I just only get the important things. Configure store. That's it. Configure store, and what are the other things that we need to get? Mm, uh, the cart slice, the slice which we want to say. Cart import this cart slice. These are the things. Oh, sorry. These are the things that I need to work with this store, because whatever slice that I have created, I need to keep it in a store itself. So let's say const store value is actually is nothing but configure the store inside of it, where I'll say the reducer, where I'll say of it as cart reducer. Cart reducer is the state that I'm going to follow. So how can I get it? Cart slice dot reducer, cart slice dot reducer, and we simply say export default your store, export default your store. So anyone has any kind of a doubt in this thing? Anyone has any kind of a doubt in this? No, cart is the store creation. Anyone has any kind of a doubt in this store creation? If you have any kind of a doubt in the store creation, ask me. I'll again explain it. If you have no doubts, tell me. Go ahead, sir. I'll go ahead and implement these things. If you have any kind of a doubt, you can ask me. Because please explain cart reducer. Very good, Ashok. It is nothing but, let's go to this cart reducer at later point of time. But tell me what this particular cart slice dot reducer is actually doing. Ashok Kumar, tell me what this cart slice dot reducer is actually getting us. What is the use of that given particular line? Cart slice dot reducer. It is searching for what? Ashok Kumar, what is it is for searching for? Uh, a given particular thing. What is that given particular thing, by the way? Make it more specific, Ashok Kumar. When you're telling the answer, just be more specific. What is that one given particular thing it is actually searching for? So the simple important thing is, I'll tell you. So in the card slice, so this card slice is not a JS thing. It is actually it, mm, huh, everything is fine. JS. Yes, yes, it is correct. It is correct. It's correct. Uh, why it is showing me this question thing? I think there are no warnings at this given point of time. Yes, fine. Go back to this thing. So in this card slice, we have these two state variables. So how can I access these two variables? So from the store, if I want to access what are the state variables that are exactly present in this card slice, I need to actually use reducer onto this given particular slice element itself. Once after using this given particular reducer onto this particular section or the slice, then the elements or the state variables are actually converted into the form of object and will be sent back by this reducer function, which is nothing but when I apply this dot reducer thing to this given particular slice, it actually having these things. See, if I am hovering on this reducer, you see this reducer is actually getting us this object itself. If you observe, cart quantity and cart products are nothing but here the state variables in the particular what you can say slice itself. So this reducer is actually getting the state variables that are present in this given particular slice and converting in the form of an object, and that object we are actually storing inside this particular known as cart reducer. So that is what meant by cart reducer. So did you understood this thing, Ashok Kumar? Do you have any kind of a doubt still left? Thanks. We'll go ahead. So now the second part is store creation is actually happened. The third part, important part, have the provider. So where to have this provider? Go to your main.jsx. Go to your, I can say this thing with main.jsx. Uh, yeah, this is the particular thing. This is the main.jsx thing. Let's don't worry about this particular thing. Routing is being applied. I'll remove it. And here say I'll import these two elements. Import this provider from this React Redux thing. Yeah, I think this provider is actually from React Redux, and also import store from your, I think it is in present in Redux / store.this. Now for this I'll remove my react.strict mode. I'll remove it and I'll say provider in which I'll have this entire code. Where we know that this particular thing has this known as store. I'll use this store. Now check it. Let's whether this particular thing is actually working or not. Go to cart slice. Instead of 10, I'll give 10. Okay. Is there anything that I am doing wrong? Go to this console. There are these warnings. Actually, leave that warnings. Okay, I need to implement the state. Sorry. I need to implement the state. So for that implementing the state, we need to go for this thing known as use selector. So go to this main.jsx. So we are done with this provider thing. So this provider actually do what? Wait. This provider do actually what? This provider actually do this thing known as provides this this cart quantity value to this particular wait, it's not so to this app component. So from the app component, now I do take it to this given particular product. So which is nothing but what is that one product that requires this particular cart quantity? What is this one product that requires this state variable cart quantity? Tell me. If you are following this given session, you will be able to answer this given particular session. You will be able to answer this question. So what is that one component or one component I can say that requires this particular thing known as cart quantity state variable? Tell me in the chat. Just tell me what is that one component that requires this particular component, or which component actually requires this thing. Product component. Okay, the component that is actually required for this thing. Okay, product component, it is nothing but product list. If you see in the product list, it is not happening. But if you observe this particular thing, this cart component is exactly present in navbar. This cart component is exactly present in navbar. So we need to actually go to the navbar thing. So we have this navbar component here, navbar component, where instead here I need to get the data, which is nothing but I go here, I'll open this particular thing, open the diagram. If I use this diagram and tell you, it would be very easy for you to. Now we are done with this still part. We are done with this given particular. We have provided with this particular thing to this app component. Now I need to use it. I need to use it from the app. So the React component is nothing but our navbar need to take details from app selector, from app component. How can it do it? Go to this particular thing. I'll say import. I'll say use selector. Is use selector from Redux. Now the one important thing I just want to do it is let's try to do it here itself or not. Let's try to include it in the quantity itself. Fine. Use it. So we are simply getting the details of state variable, right? So I'll say quantity. No. I'll say quantity is actually equal to this thing known as use selector. Use selector. I'll say this use selector actually takes a callback. So I'll simply say store dot your what is it, cart reducer dot cart quantity cart quantity cart quantity cart quantity, and here in the place of 0 I'll keep it as quantity. Check it whether it is working or not. Okay, it is not showing. Okay, what is the thing happening? Warning. Is there anything warning? Okay, this is not the thing. Wait, and the thing is we need to actually return it. So we need to actually return this thing. Sorry, that's a simple change I missed. Component, yes, we got this thing. Instead of this particular cart slice, if I say the value is actually equal to the value of 10, now check it, run the code. Now okay, I need to give the spacing bit. Go to this app.css. So write -10 I have given. Instead I will be giving 14. Let's check. Now you can clearly see. I think instead of 14, let's give it value of 20. This is bit wide. This is bit wide. So instead I'll be giving right value as -70. That would be okay. Now we can clearly see. So close it. Yes. Now what? When I update this given particular state here, let's say it is made of 1000. You will see. Okay, 1000. It is actually taking 10. Let's make it 10. You will see this state has been changing. That state has been changing. The state has been changing. And let's say if I give the values of 8, you'll see this 8 has been changing. This 8 has been changing. So till this point, anyone has any kind of a doubt? Any kind of a doubt? Yes, we will do it. We will do it. We will do it. But here, see, the understanding of the state level component is actually a bit different from Redux and use state. In use state, you will simply say in the product component, you say use state and set use state. You use it in the in the component itself, and you just go away. Coming to the Redux, it's actually it's actually a different thing. It's actually a different thing. Now, I just want to use the same state, this card quantity, which is exactly present for this particular, which is exactly present for this in the Redux. I just want to use it for navbar. I just want to use it for here, this particular quantity also, this particular quantity also. I need to be using the same state variable for different things without actually passing the props itself. Without actually passing the props itself. That's the magic of it. That's the magic of it. Because till this point you have seen the examples where that given particular state variable is actually utilized by one single component. But in this given example, you will see that same state variable, that cart quantity, is actually utilized by 3 more components simultaneously. That's the advantage of Redux. That's the advantage of Redux. That's what I just want to teach in this given particular session. So till this point, anyone has any kind of a doubt? Anyone has any kind of a doubt? I think we have finished these 4 steps. We are at this React component. If I want to make change onto this given particular state variable, I need to use this dispatch thing. So I'll teach it, but tell me, till this point, where I have created a slice, inside it I have created state variables, and I have created this entire, or I have just kept this entire slice into a store. After that, from the store, I am actually using this provider thing for this entire app component. From the app component, I am taking that state variable using use selector to my React component. So this is the process that we have done till this point. Anyone has any kind of a doubt till this point? Till this point, anyone has any kind of a doubt? Anyone has any kind of a doubt? Anyone has any kind of a doubt? If you have any doubt, you can just tell me, I know sir, I have a doubt. Otherwise, you tell me, go ahead, I'll go ahead. Fine, go ahead. I got go ahead. Oh, fine, let's go ahead. Uh, yes. We got this entire thing with the state thing is actually good. The other thing is actually is also good. 2 components are actually merging it. Is there anything that I'm missing? Let's try to apply it in this given particular way. Let's try to apply it in this given particular way. There's a product list story. Then I have bar. Actually simply returning it and making it to the value of quantity, so that quantity is actually utilized it here. Now let's see. Let's try to implement the. Okay, let's try to implement the things itself. Let's try to implement this things itself. Instead of teaching you to the React, let's try to implement the things itself. Let's say whenever I click on this plus button, remember whenever I click on this plus button, this card quantity, this particular product quantity has to be increased, and the card quantity has also be increased. So how can I implement it? Which is nothing but in the card slice, whenever some user performs this particular action here on the product, remember I am actually performing the particular thing which is actually known as the plus operation on the product list itself. Now this same thing should be reflected onto this given particular state variable cart quantity. So how can I do it? So we know till this point, if I click on this button, we have seen in the counter example, if I click on this button, I have this counter thing incrementing. If I click on this negative button, the counter value will be decreasing. So here the state variable is nothing but your digit. But here the thing would be reverse, which is nothing but here the thing would be entirely different. If I click here, it should be reflected here. Here this particular 8, the component which you are seeing is actually known as cart quantity, is actually a state variable stored in the slice of Redux. But here when I click on it, I need to actually communicate to this particular thing. I need to actually communicate this particular thing. So how can I do it? How can I do it? Which is not go back to this particular thing. So from any given React component in this given picture, see entire picture that we have seen to understand this Redux Redux lifecycle is the same thing we apply on the code itself. So from any given React component, if we want to change the state variable, itself, then I used to have this particular thing known as use dispatch thing. Right? So we'll implement the same thing. So go back. So where each of these reducers accept 2 particular things, state, action. state comma action. So go to this product list. So here if I click on this particular plus sign, I need to actually increment these things. So for which I'll say on click, I'll simply say handle product. I'll simply say handle product. I think yes, everything is fine. Why it is showing me this thing? Why it's showing me this thing? Let's go here. Okay, let's remove it. On click first. Wait a minute. Check G. It's working. Check it. What is working? It is working. There is this. Okay, in categories, in product list. Okay, let's try to check this warning thing. It is saying that each child in the list should have a unique key prop in this particular product list item, product list component. So go to this product list. I'm currently on the product list. Let's try to implement this key kind of a thing. So where I'll say for each given product, we have this product thing, and I'll say key prop. I'll say product dot id. If you observe the product which we are getting from the fake store API, I'll just go back to this thing of fake store api.com. So go down, we have this thing known as users, and I'll say /1. For any given user, remember, for any given particular thing, or not user, sorry, by the way, products, sorry. Here we have this products. Click on this products. I'll say /1. Sorry. Instead of saying this category, I'll say /1. Now you can clearly see for every given product, we have this ID value separately. So in this given particular thing, I'm getting the product from some other component, and I'm actually utilizing its ID as a key prop here, right? So this product I'll be same passing to this particular on click event also, where I'll say on click, where I'll say handle product. I'll say product, handle product. So I need to write a function now. Which is whenever there is a click actually happens, I need to want to this product need to be added into this given particular cart item. Go back into the cart item. Okay, let's finish writing the code. Where we have this thing. Go to this store.js, where I'll say this one single thing. Okay, let's try to import the actions itself. Const actions. Const action. I'll say what is it action thing that we have did. The syntax for it. It would be like go to this particular code, close it. The action thing that we have did. So this Redux thing. If I say open to this source thing, components, Redux components, user Redux component. We have this dispatch thing. Okay, we have altogether this dispatch thing. This is user.redux. This is component altogether. Instead of writing it for the component, let's go and observe this store.js. We're getting it, but what about this actions part? Action though we need to do it. I need to perform any kind of an action, so I'll be just saying counter slice dot action. This is this thing. So which is nothing but here also for this given I'll say store. I'll simply say here write it like this. Export const action is actually equal to cart slice dot cart slice dot actions action, right? So check the code. So this is nothing but for any given slice element, okay, this, why are we writing this here in this given particular store? Cut it, we don't require it, by the way. This is the other file, this store.ds. Instead I'll write it here, cart reduce, not this cart reduce or cart slice. Instead of this particular thing, export cart slice, let's don't do it here, go to this particular cart slice element itself, because this is actually exporting this stuff. So yeah, I think reload the code. I think we need to perform this actions part. Handle product is not defined. Handle product. Oh, don't worry. First we'll get this actions part where we export the action kind of a thing from this given particular what I will say this thing which yes, let's export it. Go to this particular product.js list. Now for which let's try to use this dispatcher, because I need to do that whenever there is this plus click or whenever there is an on click event, that okay, this click should be actually this actually should be present on this thing whenever there is this click event. Whenever there is click event on this particular plus symbol or icon, altogether I just want to make sure implement this particular function. So go do it. I'll say const handle product. I'll say this is actually a function, so I'll return something. I should return something. So but at this point of time, let's keep it cool. So at this point of time, I'll say whenever I do this kind of a thing, whenever we are actually exporting this particular thing, so I'll say I'll import those actions. So the actions that need to be performed, action from the pages context redux slash this store not slices slash cart slice. So whenever we have this particular thing, that in order to perform any kind of an actions like the cart slice, we have these two actions, right? We already know that this particular add cart and delete from cart are nothing but two actions and will be sent as an object from this given particular section as an actions object. So I'm just importing it here. I'm actually importing it here. Sorry, exporting it here. Go to this product list and I'm actually importing it here. So for which I'll say, in order to use this, go to this particular diagram itself. In order to, for any given component, in order to actually change this particular change this particular component or state variable that is present in the slice itself, we use this use dispatch. So get the use dispatch, so which I'll say import use dispatch. This use dispatch has been utilized here from React Redux. This now I'm going to say const dispatch. I'll say use dispatch, and whenever there is a click for this given particular, or I'll say handle add product. Instead of handle product, I'll simply say handle add product. What it is exactly doing, I'm going to use this dispatch thing, and I'm going to say that action dot add to cart. Let's add to cart. I just want to say product, which is nothing but whenever someone clicks on this given particular plus, I just want to call this given particular function, right? Where inside this given particular function, for whatever product we are currently, clicking on it, I'm just sending it as a parameter for this given particular function. Now, let's try to understand this given particular simple function, which is nothing but whenever this thing actually happens, I just want to have a dispatch function call telling me that, okay, I need to perform an action which is nothing but add to cart. So in the cart.size, we have the same thing, add to cart. What is this thing? Action, add to cart, such that, where is this product list? Product list. Such that with this given product, which I am actually clicking on it, I just want to add this given particular product to this card item itself, So how many of you understood this given logic? Because this is how we are actually adding products from the product list to the cart, add to cart thing. I mean, I'm actually calling this particular thing add to cart function. So how can I call it? How can I call this add to cart? Using this particular thing known as dispatch. So whatever action is actually provided, I'm going to show it this particular thing. So add to cart you have already mentioned that as this is second thing as an action. So this action will get the payload. If you remember yesterday's class, this action will get the payload itself. So the payload here is nothing but your product. In yesterday's session, the payload is nothing but your data from some other API, but here the product which you are clicking, the plus button, that product itself is your payload. Actions or action? Once again, sir. Actions or action? Cart slice. Cart slice. Store. Style dot actions. Okay, thanks. By the way, thanks, Vamsi. So all of a sudden, one single character can change the entire phase of the code. Once again, sir. Venkat, from where I can, and Venkat and Viral Bank, from where I can just repeat. From where I can repeat. So if you want me to repeat, I'll repeat. So from where? From which point I need to repeat? The dispatch thing. Acha, fine. Which is nothing but I'm on my product list. That whenever this particular click action happens, I need to actually call this particular product. So, which is nothing but here. Don't worry about it. Whenever I click plus onto it, I just want that plus, that number change that need to be updated simultaneously that cart quantity thing. So whenever I click on the product itself, my number beside the cart should change. That number beside the cart is actually a state variable. We actually mentioned it as cart quantity. Make it 0, by the way. Cart quantity. Whenever I click a button here on this given button, this particular cart quantity state variable should be updated. So how can I do it? Is that using this thing known as a dispatch. Where I'll tell that once we actually perform this action using this dispatch, then that is invoking this given particular add to cart function. Go to this cart slice where we have add to cart is one such an action that can be performed to change these state variables. So I have defined it here itself. And I'm actually sending a payload to be my product for any given thing. Let's say in the previous session, if you remember it, whenever I am actually loading it, I'm actually getting the data, I'm storing it inside this user and actually showcasing it onto the screen. But behind it, if you observe, I'm actually making an async call to update the state. I'm actually using this async call. So here I'm not using any kind of async call, but the data that we are actually got from yesterday's session from some other API to our front end, I'm actually using that thing at that data and showcasing it on the screen. So how can I do it is in this given particular class cart size, whenever there is an action happens, I need to say for that action you got some data, show that data. Whenever I say this add to cart happens, then this will be implemented. So this is the entire chain of things that actually happen. So still anyone have any kind of a doubt? Still anyone has any kind of a doubt? Okay. Anyone has any kind of a doubt? Now let's try to implement the logic of add to cart. Implement the logic of add to cart itself. Let's check. Let's check. Go to this product list. I'm actually importing the action itself. Okay. As a console.log action. F12. It is of F12. Go to it. Are we getting any kind of console log? We are getting these two things. So for any given particular slice thing, just remote. We are actually getting the actions. So actions are actually mentioned inside this reducers. This entire thing is actually known as actions. So that's why I'm actually exporting them. Using this particular variable, and I'm actually importing them here. Now let's try to go for this cart.size. Try to implement the logic. Let's try to implement the logic. Say whenever someone says that there is some product add to cart, I just want to increase this particular value. So for that I'll say state dot this cart quantity plus. Whenever someone click on this plus button, there is this add to cart thing. Then I need to change the value of this cart quantity. First step. Second important step, which is nothing but I'll say I'll convert this or divide this code into two parts, which is nothing but I'll say product to be added, and I'll say action.payload. This is an interesting step, which is nothing but action. It is not action. This is action.payload, which is nothing but if you go back to this given particular thing, we are actually sending a product, our given product. Remember our given product to this given particular simple thing, to this given particular what I can say. Sorry, I need to actually add the product here also. This is nothing but whenever I am clicking on any given product, on that given particular product, whenever I am clicking it, I am actually sending the product itself, the entire product, this entire product. I am actually sending that entire product into this given handle, add product function. So inside this handle add product, what we are actually doing is nothing but we are actually calling add to cart function. Where this add to cart function is actually present here itself. So apart from action, you are actually sending the data, your product data here. Apart from just calling this particular thing on click, we are actually sending this product data. And I'll say this product data is actually sent to this particular add to cart method also. So apart from the action, I'm actually sending the data. So how can I get the data is nothing but using this particular thing. Known as payload. So whatever action we perform, on click action, we actually calling this add to cart. Once we are actually performing that action, what is the data that we get, that we are sending it from product list to cart.slice is nothing but the product. If you go to this thing, the product, we are actually sending it as a data to this given particular add to cart action. That's why how to get the data from that action is nothing but using this payload. Anyone has any kind of a doubt? Till this point? Because this is the fundamental thing. If you understood this particular thing, Redux is completed. Anyone has any kind of a doubt? If no doubt, tell me, go ahead. Go ahead. Good. I like the vibe. Now, so I'm telling that whatever the data I'm getting from this product.list, which is actually sent as a payload, now I'm going to store it inside this particular thing known as a product to be added. Now, my interesting part is how can I add the data that is coming from this one component into the cart item itself, into the cart component itself. If you observe here, cart itself is a page. Cart itself is a page, but product is actually a component, which is nothing but the thing or data coming from this component to this given page. How can I include it? How can I include it? Let's try to code that part. That's an interesting part. So the one important thing is I'll just say const, I'll create a variable, I'll say required required product to be the value or consist the value of state dot cart product. So whatever I'm telling that this required product is nothing but the state dot cart products, which is nothing but I am actually making sure the thing that I am getting is actually a data. The left thing I just want to include it is nothing but an array. If you observe, this cart product itself is an array. So I am actually storing this cart products into this particular thing known as required product. One standard rule in React: never ever directly change this given particular state variable. Never ever directly change this given particular variable. So that's why I'm actually copying that state variable to this given particular some other variable. So I'm actually following that same rule. I have actually taught in the first initial sessions of the sprint. I'm actually following the same rule. Second thing, now where I just want to say, okay, wait. Where I just want to say that I have this one function where I'll say find. I need to find the values because there are two cases. Whenever we are adding any kind of a product to the cart item, I have two cases. Whether we are actually newly adding that product into the cart, otherwise there might be already some set of that product available on the cart. I need to increment that value. So in order to that, I'm using this, in order to check that particular thing, I'm actually using this find. So find, it is telling that find calls predict, find calls predict once for an element of the given array in ascending order. Until it find one where to predict, it returns the true, which is nothing but, let's take this example. Whether in your given particular application you have added an iPhone and you also added this given particular thing known as AirPods. So again, it is actually stored in the cart. Now my intuition is that if I just close the app and again get to the application and I search for iPhone again, and if I click again to on it, I should be not adding the same product again. I just want to say, okay, in the cart, previously user has his iPhone as quantity as 1. So I need to increment that value. That is the same thing that we need to do. So in order to do that, I'm going to perform this particular operation where I'm going to find in this given particular cart products, if there is that element still present, previously present, or am I adding newly. So for that, I'll write the logic where I'll say that C product, let's try to write it here. Let's try to call a function itself instead of writing a simple code. Product which is nothing but I'll say return C product is actually, or C product dot ID to be more precise. In form of IDs, I'm actually checking. C product dot ID is double equal to this thing known as product to be added dot ID. So here, or I'll write the code here. I am checking before. So here, or before, or else right before adding that product blindly into the cart, I am checking if it is already present, already present or not in the cart item itself, in the cart element or cart products itself, cart product array. If not present, I will newly add, remember, newly add the product into the array. Which array? Cart product array. To be more precise, I'll get the things right. Cart product array. If already present, I will, sorry, wait, I will increment quantity value. So here I am actually checking the things. So here only checking happens. That's a simple thing. This is simply a check that what are new product that I want to add, is actually present, already present in this given particular thing or not. So here we are getting a new product, or we are getting a product from product, wait a minute, product list component. So in this given particular step, we are actually getting product from the product, product from this product list component. Second part is, here we need to check already it is present in the card or not. Checking only I am doing. So this find function, it is telling that it returns the value of the first element in the array where predicate is true. Let's say this is nothing but in the given array, if the array has repetition of values, if the array or first 3 slots of array is nothing but 2, 3, 4, right? Again, this from the fourth slot of the given array, it is again having the values of 2, 3, 4. It is again having the value of 2, 3, 4. If I want to find this particular value 2, it is actually repeating or not. It just finds that given particular value. Okay, it is actually found at this value. So it tells that okay, the value is true. It is nothing but the value is already present. So similarly, it is the checking that if this given particular condition is actually giving the value of true, which is nothing but this given C product or the product that we want to add is actually present. If this condition is actually false, then find is also telling that okay sir, it is false. This given statement, this entire statement is false because there is no such kind of a product present in the cart itself. So we need to add it again. This is the third part. We need to add it again. So for which I'll say if I'll say required product is actually to undefined, because if this particular statement yields the value of false, then find will result the value of undefined. Result the value of undefined. If this entire statement present inside this find, if entire function present in this find is actually yields the value of true, yields the value of some value or some true, then this find value will take up that value and will store it inside it. So if there is no such kind of a product, which is nothing but if this condition is actually false and is given to this particular find, so when find have this false thing, it actually returns the value of undefined. So at this given point of time, it is nothing but okay, the product is not present. Now I need to add it. So I'll say products to be added dot in quantity, individual quantity value is actually equal to the value of 1. So till that point, there is no such product available in the cart. So I just want to say that product, this product to be added, this thing should be actually having its individual quantity value as 1 in the cart itself. The second thing is, after doing this, I just want to say state cart products. I just want to say this cart products is actually a array. So I just want to push the data. I just want to say push the data. What data need to be pushed? Product to be added. If that given particular product to be added is not present inside this given particular cart, then push it and make its individual quantity as equal to value of 1, as equal to the value of 1. So this is how we actually implement these things. So else the thing is, if the product is already existing, I'll simply say I'll simply say required product dot individual quantity value plus plus. So this is how we implement this particular thing known as cart add to cart thing. So anyone has any kind of a doubt till this point? Sir, if that term is not there, means we have to add that item to the cart, and also we need to increase the cart count run. It means it here there we need to increase the count, right? We are actually doing it, right? We're actually doing it. Whenever there is actually a push, then automatically this given particular variable, this given particular quantity will be actually incremented. So we are actually initially telling that this add this particular thing, card quantity to the plus, and finally if that item is not present in the card, I am actually trying to push it onto this particular card products array. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Anyone has any kind of a doubt? Anyone has any kind of a doubt? Anyone has any kind of a doubt? Clarified. Can I go ahead? Can I go ahead? Can I go ahead? Let's try to implement the same thing for delete thing also. Delete thing also. Nothing but we already written this entire code. We'll simply implement the same code where I'll say that okay, I'll say const product to be added is nothing but action dot payload. So I'll say const product this particular IDX, or wait a minute. Do not rush the things. The important point is whenever we want to delete an item from the cart, so we need to specifically go to that particular ID of that item and we need to delete it. Because the quantity could be enormous. The product quantity could be enormous. So at that point of time, we need to actually click, this negative thing. If someone wants to decrease it or remove completely from the part, we have two things. If the quantity is enormous, we need to decrease the quantity and we need to decrease the individual quantity of the product itself. 2 points. And the third point is, if we want to completely remove from this, let's say there is one item, only one single item of iPhone is actually present in your cart. When you click this negative button or decrease button, that component itself will be vanished. So I am going to implement these two things. The first thing is where I'll say const const product, I'll say at the value of IDX or IDX, where I'll simply say that state dot cart products, where I'll say dot find or find index. Find index is one such a function in JavaScript where it actually returns the index of the first element in the array where the predicate is true, which is nothing but if I want to find any given element in this given array, it returns the value. If the element is actually present, then it returns the value of this first value, the value of 1, which is true, or -1. So for which I am using this find index to find each product index based on, to find each product, like how many things that are actually present, the quantity of it, using this thing known as find index. So for which I'll write simply a function, this C product, I'll say return C product dot ID is actually equal to product to be added dot ID. Product added to be added as ID. Yes, this is a simple thing. Yes, where I'll simply say this thing. Yes, this thing. So here I am actually checking whether this given particular product is present in the element or not. Same logic checking is actually happening here. Okay, now this find index, if there is a product that is already present in the cart, it actually returns a value to it. It actually returns a value of integer. It actually returns to the value of integer of that given particular index. Wait, now I'll say if there is this condition, okay, fine. Let's say if there is only that one single product is actually present inside this given particular cart, only this one single product, I just want to leave it. I just want to remove it. I just want to remove the cart element itself. So sorry, if this product item is valued as -1, which is nothing but -1. If there's no such cart, because this find index, if this given particular entire thing is unable to find this, unable to find this given particular product in the cart, array itself, cart products array itself, then this find index will actually yields the value of -1. So we have already studied it. Wait, wait. It is telling that if this given particular element, if such element is found, find index immediately returns the element index. Otherwise, if the element is not found, it returns the value of -1. So I am writing a edge case for it. Like if this product index thing. Let's say if there is no such kind of a product present in this given particular cart item, I'm going to say this product index, if this value is actually equal to the value of -1, which is nothing but if there is no product, find index will actually return the value of -1. Then we simply don't do anything. We simply don't do anything else. Now this comes the interesting part. I'll say if there is this start quantity, I just want to replace, which is nothing but if someone clicks on this minus button, I just want to say that this first initial cart quantity value should be decreased. Cart quantity value should be decreased. That's the first thing that I want to do. I'm doing it. Now comes to this another important. Let's say let product is actually equal to the value of state.cart products, where I have this thing known as this product.idx. So that would be my current product. So for which I'll say if that given product quantity or product individual quantity, to be more precise, I'll say product.individ quantity is actually equal to the value of 0. I just want to simply vanish it. So I'll say state dot, what is it? Cart products, right? Cart products dot splice that product idx with the value, which is nothing but if there is only one single item of that given particular cart, of that particular product in the cart is actually present. If I click again, make the quantity of this given individual product to 0, then I just want to remove from the cart product itself. I just want to remove that product from the cart product itself. So how can I get that product? Using this particular product idx. So this is the logic I have applied. Else, if there are many other contents, many of such product contents are actually present, then I'll say state dot cart products, where I'll say this product idx, I'll say individual quantity minus. So this is the entire application of this particular delete from cart actually happens. Reload the code. Warning. These warnings are pretty, but in which is fine. Anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, anyway, so it's fine. So anyone has any kind of a doubt till this point? Anyone has any kind of a doubt till this point? Anyone has any kind of a doubt till this point? How do we actually implementing the logic on how to add the element to the cart and how to add or delete or remove the element from the cart? Anyone has any kind of a doubt till this point? So for which, let's see if this particular cart component value is actually equal to the value of 0 or another one. So cart quantity, do we make any kind of a mistake? Go to here, check. This component, does it solve this incorrect thing? Oh, required product equal to undefined. I'll go to this product list. Similarly, if there is this on click event happens, and on this given particular icon on click, I'll say on click, I'll say handle remove product. Remove product, handle remove product, where I'll be sending this product itself. So the same thing, apply the same, copy the code, handle remove product, add to cart, delete from cart. I just want to perform this thing. Anything left? This is the thing. So till this point, dispatch this particular thing, this cart to the thing, cart. So cart reducer, cart reducer itself. Did I made any mistake? Translation. M.6. Your routes and everything is fine, working good. Remove it. Nav bar to keep it aside for the time's sake. Cart slice, cart reducer. Go to this particular. By default is actually going for the value of 4. But by default the value is actually equal to the value of 0. Why it is showing me the value of 4? Did I made any kind of mistake? Please check the output again. There is another interesting point that we need to write the code about, which is nothing but how can we show this particular current cart count of this given particular element itself. So let's try to implement that logic. Instead of that, writing the code here, so the current content count is actually present inside this cart item, so I need to get the data back. Let's write a simple component. I'll say function print count, where I'll say that okay, that thing is actually the thing known as props. So this cart thing and sort of stuff is actually given to the app. So let's try to get the things in the form of props, and in which I'll mention that const, I'll say cart products, and I'll say ID of this given particular thing is actually in the form of props. Let's say let quantity of this given particular element is actually equal to the value of 0. Then I'll simply say this code, or shall I change it? I'll simply say for, I'll write a simple for. I'll say for I is equal to value of 0, where let for I actually less than cart products dot len gth less than, sorry, this thing, and also we have I plus plus. Let's try to write the code for this given thing, which is when the quantity is actually equal to the value of 0. Let's say if this given cart products of I, where I'll say this cart products dot id is actually equal to the value of the required element id, if that thing actually matches with our particular given id. And I want to showcase this particular thing. I'll say quantity is actually equal to cart product dot of I dot individual quantity. So yes, this is what I just want to show. Instead of writing it here as the form of 0, I'll write it, I'll include a particular element. Print count, where for this given particular thing, where for this given particular thing, current state of count, I'll say cart products. We need to actually pass the props. I'll say cart products, and also id is actually nothing but product dot id, and we will actually say not using this thing normal braces, but using this curly braces. Using the simple curly braces. So product id print, and on click handle delete product, handle add product. That's though it's fine. We made a mistake. Go and check it. Cart product is not defined. Oh, okay. Then set it. Go and get this use selector itself. Use selector, where below this props, I'll be telling that thing. Let's get the values of this particular thing as prop element itself. As a prop element itself. That's how we can do it. Is this thing I'm actually applying the correct thing? Let me figure it out on the back. So we have this thing. Let's have this use sector. Use selector, correct. Cons, I'll say cart products is actually equal to the value of use selector. Using use selector, I'm actually getting the details from the app itself, where I'll say store return store dot, what is the state that we have mentioned here? Use in this cart reducer. So I'll use cart reducer dot cart products. In the cart reducer, we have this thing known as cart products. Okay, we have this thing cart products, so I'm actually sending them here as a prop, because this is fundamentally a prop inside of it. It is nothing but it's a child prop, so I'm actually sending them as in the form of props. Cannot assign in individual quantity object. Okay, go to this product list or this cart slice, where I'll say individual quantity. Why they are actually telling me that maximum updates depth exceed this can affect the component set state use state page dot bundle. This is the problem with wheat, but any which way we need to take care of it. Read only property to the object. Individual quantity. This is nothing but we need to actually add the component here itself, where it can be added. By the way, it can be added. Let's find out individual quantity. Product dot individual quantity is actually equal to the value of 1. Fine. Are we making any kind of mistakes here? State cart quantity is actually implemented. This plus product to be added, action dot payload. This thing is state dot add products. If the required product is actually equal to the value of undefined, this is actually dealing with the quantity part, so I'm actually pushing it. Else but the logic is fine. That I made any kind of spelling mistakes, anyone can observe. Sir, use state quantity like this. Okay. Cannot assign a read-only property to this int to object. Okay, why it is showing me all of a sudden there is a new error. Int quantity, individual quantity. Why it cannot assign it? That's my point. Why it cannot assign it? Here itself is the problem. Why it can't enter it? Fully छोड़ो. Maximum depth exceeded छोड़ो. Cannot assign read-only property. In the product component at this given particular thing. At add cart. This is actually the problem. Dot count individual quantity. Is there any kind of spelling mistake that I made here? No, close store is not useful anymore. Mistake that I made. The doubt is okay, fine. It is nothing but if you go to this particular thing, if you go to any particular thing, like here, this given particular array, product to be added, is not a state variable. I'm actually copying this state variable content, card product content, into this given particular product to be added thing, and I'm making sure that that individual quantity is nothing but I am there and then, wait, I'll write it here. Here, I am initializing, to be more precise, I am initializing. Here I am initializing the a property for this array. So this property is actually helpful for me to navigate this individual quantity of each item. So that's why I have used it. That's why I have created it. I don't know why it is telling me this. Did you get, so even to have doubt, where did you get individual quantity? That's why I've did my for myself. For any given product, I'm actually assigning this given particular value of individual quantity which is actually equal to the value of 1 if it is added to this particular cart. And from there onwards, I'm actually, if that particular card is actually present, I'm just adding this, including this, increasing it quantity. Similarly, if coming to this particular thing, see that where I'll say that instead of writing it here, let's finish the code first. Maybe this might be the wrong. Return TURN. Return this one single piece of code, which I'll say it should be quantity, not individual quantity, quantity. Should be quantity. So actually this is the quantity until unless we have state quantity dot individual quantity. If product is actually equal to the value of -1, I just don't want to do it. If it is of then I am splicing it. Oh, instead of 1, let's make it the value of 0 with 0 idx, and I'll say this entire thing, this thing needs to be done here, because according to the logic that would sound appropriate. So that would sound appropriate. Inside this product, cart quantity products. Oof. What is this thing? Failed to pass the source analysis, huh? Cartslates.jsx cartlet source js. What is that thing? Quantity is not defined. Wait, quantity itself is not defined. Go down, go very down. Let quantity is actually equal to 0. Quantity. It is actually equal to the value of 0. Navbar, go down. Did I write the code here? Then it should not be present here. Mm-hmm. 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 What? Go back. Instead of writing it one place, I have written it another place. So cut it, paste it, go to this product dot list. Here I'll say after that return this one single thing. Same error. Come on. Previously it worked, but any which way, 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 any which way. Quantity, quantity, quantity. Go to this cart size where we have this individual quantity. Now let's try to add this particular thing. Individual quantity is actually equal to the value of 0. Oh, every time it should not be equal to the value of 0, by the way. If that's the case, if it is the first time, if it is the first time, it is undefined. Let's write it the code here. Let int quantity is actually equal to the value of 0. Then I'll say this particular quantity will have the same effect. No, it is actually showing me that, but okay. Quantity is not possible. Okay, how to assign? Let's find out this particular thing. Assigning what is props, not props, but it is assigning property to the element, to object in JS. It's fine. Come on, it is actually kidding with me. With assignment properties, how to set a property? Using documentation, how to add property? Yes, go to this particular thing. Okay, the thing which I have did is true. Using the dot notation, yes, it is actually possible. Syntax is yes, this is the same syntax. Roll number and this thing, same thing. Let's try this other way. Let's try this other way, where I'll say this given particular value. It's not a number. This is a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. Let's see. Okay. I'm actually by default getting it with the value of 4. A few bugs. But anyone can find out this bug, because there is this interesting bug that is actually taking in our application. Anyone can find out it. Anyone can find it out. Anyone can find it out. Anyone can find it out. Let's try to see console.log console.log product to be added. So find it out. This is the element men's clothing with the ID of 2 and 2 who's have this rating in category. Okay, these 4 elements are added to this particular thing. 4 elements. So 0, what is a 0? To be more precise, I'll say quantity undefined. Okay, it is taking this undefined value by default. This thing, this value is undefined. That's why you see nan here. Let's try to revamp this code again. There's nothing but I'll say products to be added who's having int. Oh, wait. We'll be adding this property because by the way, go down. We have this syntax of Mm. Mm. With syntax, new property. I'll say this entire thing. Quantity value is actually equal to the value of 1. I'll simply say console.log. Press it. Mm. It cannot be read. By the way, it cannot be read. Mm. Work. There we kind of a thing. Warning. Because by default, 4 children are actually adding onto the screen. Itself. So let's finish the logic first. Let's finish the logic and we'll come back. This is very interesting thing for which let's finish the logic. Let's go to this product list or cart because we need to showcase the items in the cart itself. So go to the pages, go to the cart. Instead of saying this cart is having this kind of a stuff, I'll be saying import product list. Import product list. I'll use it here. So import it. I'll write the code where I'll say h1 as cart, and finally I just want to say h2 as add to product list. Next below, and finally we have this product list component where it has product list as prop, where I'll be passing this given thing to as its prop. I'll say product list, where for this given product list I'll say this thing as use selector. Import, I want to send the data, so I'll say use selector, and I'll say before this function const product list is actually nothing but use selector, where we have this given particular store element. I'll simply say store dot cart product. I think cart reducer the thing. Wait a minute, did I made any mistake here in the product list? Go up. Cart reducer, it's fine. Go to navbar. Did you made any kind of mistake here? Cart reducer, cart quantity, cart reducer, cart products. This is the thing where I just want to say what is this product list. Let's go to this thing, reload the code. What is this console log that you got? Instead I just want to say dot cart product du. See, I just want to show it onto this product list, and I'll just send it. Yes, find it out back again, come back to this point. This is the logic that we have completed, but few bugs. Product list, and I'm getting use selector to get the data of cart product and just want to showcase it onto the element. That's what I'm actually returning it, and I'm actually sending it to this particular product list. So where is quantity? Show that product list code. Okay, down here, down here. Where Venkat Sai? I just want to. I think I've written the code correct. Code is correct. I'm actually returning this particular element itself. I'm returning the current product element. Check slice. Is there any mistake that we made? Actually equal to value of 0. Let's figure out. Go to this particular component of Redux. Let's try to see how these things are actually applying. Redux. What happened? Cannot update a component while rendering. Navbar. So product list is this one thing that we actually changed. Print count is actually doing the same, but anyways, let's see and focus and go to this particular thing known as Vercel. Let's see how can we do this deployment part. We'll figure out this particular bug later, but at this point of time. So this is one such a platform where we can actually deploy our React application altogether. So yeah, in this given particular thing, let's say if you click on this login thing, if we click on, first we need to actually create an account. So I had already had an account. So I'll say this given particular thing as continue with GitHub and sort of thing. I'll simply say continue with GitHub. So it will authenticate, it will redirect. Yes. Now this thing actually dismiss. Now this thing is actually created. Now the thing is I need to add a new thing, a new project where I have this Git repository, where I'll say I'll import it. Click on this import and framework preset. Let's say click if this is framework of wheat, set wheat, and this is root directory and other sort of thing, build command and sort of thing, environment variables, nothing, no need to mention it, no need to mention them. And finally click deploy. So click deploy. It actually deploys your entire application, by the way. It actually deploys your entire application. So at this point of time, it's actually a bad idea of doing it. Inspect deployment. Okay, fine. Deployment failed with an error because we are actually trying to deploy each and every other things. So I'll delete it. Wait, I'll delete it. Deployment. Wait. So coming back to this code. Wait. Which is nothing but. So instead of having it, is actually showing me the quantity is actually showing me the nan, because there is this one single problem with this given particular person. where I'll say this products to be added, or I'll simply say console.log your product to be added. Is it working fine or not? If this is working fine, I'll simply say 12. Okay, I'm getting this object, men's clothing, create out with. All these categories are by default applied. All this entire products are actually getting means. Okay. Okay, all the items you are getting within. All the items you are getting. Fine, that's fine. This console log is actually working. Now, they're actually taking the thing from the payload itself. So everything is fine, by the way. After that thing, they're actually checking that this given particular thing is required products. Console.log. Let's check. Let's debug this particular thing. Required products. I'll simply say is removed. Undefined. Oh, okay. Okay, by default this find thing is actually returning as this undefined, where if that thing is actually the true value for this required product, I'll say that if that's the case, what should I be doing now? It's product to be added dot individual quantity is actually equal to the value of 1, and I just say product individual quantity. We are actually adding that one particular product individual quantity to the value of 1 and pushing that one single product. So close it. Let's reopen the code again. There might be a problem. So npm run dev. No, let's find out what is it error. One response. Why this thing is actually happening? This run code. I'll say npm dev. This should work. Page automatically coming as a response within. First you have to create. I've created the object. Don't worry. So for which I'll say here I have created this object. Remember the payload that is getting from this the thing, that action I am getting that product detail. Okay. But think there is a problem with the machine itself. I think npm until page is responsive. Page itself is becoming irresponsive. Mm, Same thing. Page itself is becoming irresponsive. Okay, this might be the problem with my machine itself. But the logic which I have written is actually is the correct logic, is the exact logic, because I just tried this logic. So exit the page, then okay. There might be my internet issue or some other thing, but whatever logic we have written, it's fine. That's what I've seen, right? That's what we did. So I've console logged it. It's nothing but the action payload. It is nothing but the action payload, right? At this point of time, the action payload is nothing but itself is the product. I'm actually clicking on the plus. Here it is adding to the cart. So, but here itself, the code is correct. We have written the correct code. Card quantity, card products. Action dot payload. Everything is fine. This is correct. So that code is identified. Then I need to add that individual quantity to one, and I need to push that product onto the card products. That's what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm going to increment it, the value of this particular thing. So I'm using this individual quantity here to showcase the value here. But any which way, I think there is this problem with my machine itself. So I'll do this one thing. I'll just push the code npm run. Sorry, not npm run. Git status. Git. I think it is add. I'll say git commit. I'll say done with project. Git push. Git push nahi, git push. Git push origin master. No, yes, list. I'll do this thing for your easiness. I'll do this one single thing, React, where I'll say I'll copy this. I'll copy it, and I'll say project thing project. Instead of it, I'll paste it. Okay, items are actually copying into them. Then finally, I'll again push the code so that you can just get only this particular product thing, or else wait. This thing. I'll say paste it. The desktop, from desktop I'll create that particular thing, and I'll share the project link itself. Now coming back to this code, what happening? cd. If this still is page is unresponsive, it's a problem with my machine. Don't worry, don't worry. Load it, page is still irresponsive. So there is this problem with my page, but anyway, I pushed the code into this particular thing. So once you also got that code, go to this, push the same code into your particular thing and go to this versal.com. Goes to this versal.com and add new thing, click a project and import that Git repository from your thing. Import it. After import it, it actually do it. After import it actually do the thing. After import it actually do. That's what about this deployment part. So, but any which way, I'll figure out the code and I'll just resend the code back to this particular, to this GitHub code. Actually, my code is entirely will work. Sir, if we get the same output, don't worry, contact me on LinkedIn. But any which way, I'll change the code. The code which I have written will actually work. Just before this session, I actually built that thing and it is working. All of a sudden, during the session, everything went well. But all of a sudden, at last, my machine got corrupted and sort of thing, it's not working. That code actually worked. Because before actually teaching you this concept, I just want to re-verify the things. So that's why I have did it. I've did it and it worked. It went very smooth. Then I again created a new project, started explaining the things. But all of a sudden, you see, the machine problem has arisen. Like even when you are actually building the mini components in this given project, including Redux, everything worked fine. But all of a sudden, page got this particular thing. So there might be problem with my error, problem with the machine. So do not worry about it. So if you have any kind of doubts in this given particular session, if you just in the given particular code, you can ask me. Wait, I'll code this page got blanked. Machine error. It's a machine problem. Don't worry about it. It's a machine problem. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anyone has any kind of a doubt in this given session? If you have any kind of doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, bye bye. We'll meet you in next sprint if possible. But yes, if you have any kind of doubt, you can ask me. Sir, in the previous, I have deployed on NxtWave or Vercel, but PNPM errors. Sir, what is that? What are the files that? What are actually that files work? It is nothing but Ashok Kumar. There are different kind of files. There are different kind of file managers altogether present in just handling these file things. So there might be missing of some node modules or some packages in your code before deployment. So that might be the problem. So that's the only thing it actually shows. That's why it actually shows. It actually shows. Anyone has any kind of doubts, you can just try out my code and tell me if it is working or not. It actually works because until unless your machine is faulty, it actually works. It actually works because if you observe till this point, our code actually been worked out, but all of a sudden it's boomed. So my thing would be Nathan Sandilia Nagavatula. This is my LinkedIn profile. This is my LinkedIn profile. You can just ask any kind of a questions if you have any kind of a doubt. So the code will work. There is no issue with the code. 100% there is no issue with the code. I can guarantee it because previous to this particular session, I've tried it and it worked well. So that's it for the session. Bye bye. We'll meet you in next sprint. If you have any doubts, reach out me on LinkedIn.